Push. You think because you were born, the world owes you success. You think because you went through some pain, life is supposed to hand you a reward. Let me wake you up right now. Life doesn't owe you anything. Not a dollar. Push. Not an opportunity. Not a second chance. Nothing. You've got to go get it. You've got to fight like your back's against the wall, because it is. The truth is, push. Most people walk around with a mindset that the world is supposed to treat them fair. But life isn't a classroom with a teacher who cares about fairness. Life is a fight. Life is a war zone. And if you're waiting for fairness, push. You're already finished. Nobody's coming to knock on your door and offer you greatness. Nobody's coming to say, hey, I noticed your potential, so here's a perfect life. That's a fantasy. Push. Life doesn't hand out participation trophies. It doesn't care about your sob story. You could have had the worst childhood, the worst heartbreak, the worst financial situation, and life still doesn't care. That's not harsh. That push, that's real. It doesn't mean your pain doesn't matter. It means your pain isn't your permission slip to quit. Your pain is your platform. Your struggle is your stage, but only if you own it. Push. People walk around like they're owed success just because they tried. Trying doesn't entitle you to anything. Life rewards finishers, not starters. Everybody starts the race, push, but only a few are willing to bleed through the finish line. Don't tell me how tired you are. Don't tell me how hard it's been. Tell me what you're going to do in spite of it. Tell me how you're going to dominate. Push, even when it hurts. You think the greats got there because they were given something. They got it because they took what wasn't offered. They snatched it when it wasn't available. They made something out of nothing. Push. You have to stop waiting on a moment and start becoming the moment. Life owes you nothing, but it will give you everything if you prove that you're worthy of it. Prove it with action. Prove it with effort. That push. Prove it by showing up when nobody's clapping, when nobody's watching, when nobody believes. You don't need validation. You need vision. You don't need sympathy. You need a strategy. Push. Because every second you spend feeling sorry for yourself is a second someone else is using to take your spot. You're not stuck because life's unfair. You're stuck because you keep waiting for life to be fair. Push. You think the world should accommodate your dream when the truth is you've got to force your dream into existence. You've got to get up earlier, stay up later, work harder, train sharper, think deeper, push, and believe stronger than everybody else. That's how you get what life won't offer freely. And let me say this loud, nobody's coming to save you. You're not going to be discovered. You're going to have to develop yourself. Push. You're going to have to build it brick by brick with your own hands, your own sweat, your own blood. You can cry while you do it. You can scream while you grind, but you've still got to build. Push. You've still got to get up when life knocks you flat, because life doesn't care that you fell. It only cares whether you got back up swinging. Push. Understand this. The moment you stop expecting something for nothing is the moment you take back your power. When you realize life owes you nothing, you stop waiting and you start working. That push. And when you start working like nobody owes you, you become unbreakable, you become dangerous, you become uncommon, because now you're not looking for permission. You're not looking for a shortcut. Push. You're looking for grind mode. You're looking for fire. You're looking for everything they told you you couldn't have, and you're going after with everything inside of you. Pain don't play favorites. Push. It doesn't knock on the door and ask for permission. It storms in uninvited, wrecks your plans, flips your life upside down, and you're left standing in the middle of the mess wondering why it had to be you. Push. But here's the truth. It had to be you. Because pain isn't just a punishment. It's a test. It's a tool. It's a choice. Push. And what you do with that pain determines whether it becomes the fuel that drives you or the grave that buries you. You either let it break you or you let it build you. There is no middle ground. Most people let pain define them. Push. They carry it around like chains. Every disappointment, every betrayal, every failure, like weights strapped to their ankles, and they wonder why they can't move forward. They wonder why their dream is stuck in neutral. That push. It's because they're dragging around old wounds like trophies, letting past hurt become present identity. But pain was never supposed to be a prison. Pain is a signal. It's trying to tell you something. Push. It's not there to keep you down. It's there to show you what you're made of, to expose the parts of you that still need to grow, to reveal the hunger you didn't even know you had. You don't get to choose the pain. Push, but you do get to choose the meaning. That same pain that made one person quit is the same pain that made another person a legend. Two people lose their job, one spirals into depression, the other builds a business, same pain. Push, different response. Two people grow up without a father. One uses it as an excuse, the other uses it as motivation to become everything they never had. Push, you've got to stop telling your pain how powerful it is and start showing it who the real boss is. Pain ain't permanent, but quitting is. Suffering is seasonal, but regret will haunt you forever. Push. You've been through some things, no doubt. But instead of running from it, you've got to face it. Look that pain dead in the face and say, I'm still here. It didn't break me. It didn't bury me. Push, it tried to, but I dug myself out with faith, with fire, with fight. Because pain is pressure, and pressure produces diamonds. That wound you carry, that betrayal, that loss, push, that setback, it's either going to crush you or crown you. It's either going to be the end of you or the beginning of a new version of you. Everybody wants power, but nobody wants pain. Everybody wants the glory. Push, but nobody wants to grind. Pain is an admission ticket to greatness. You don't get to skip that line. You don't get to cheat that process. You earn every inch through suffering, through sacrifice, push, through sleepless nights and silent battles. And if you're still breathing, if you're still standing, then the pain didn't win. And if it didn't win, then it can be used. It can be flipped. It can be turned into fuel. Structures that push. The people who make it to the top aren't the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who didn't let hard times turn into hard hearts. They're the ones who cried, but kept climbing, bled, but kept building. Push, felt the sting of rejection and kept showing up. They didn't hide their pain. They harnessed it. They put it on the bench press. They ran with it. They trained with it. They let the hurt stretch their hunger, sharpen their edge, deepen their resolve. You've got to treat your pain like a gym. Every tear is a rep. Every failure is a weight lifted. Every heartbreak is a set completed. And the result, strength, endurance, grit, push, and the kind of toughness you can't fake. You can't buy it. You can't borrow it. You can only earn it through suffering. Pain doesn't disqualify you. It qualifies you. It stamps your ticket. It validates your fight. Push. It means you've been through fire and you didn't just survive. You absorbed the flames and became the fire. Motivation is loud. It's exciting. It's fire, but it burns out. It shows up when it feels good. Push, when the music is pumping, when the crowd is cheering. Motivation is that friend who hypes you up on Monday but disappears by Wednesday. Discipline, though, discipline is quiet. Discipline don't care how you feel. Push. Discipline don't need applause. Discipline shows up when you're tired, when you're broke, when your body is atching and your mind is screaming quit. Discipline is the one that gets up at 4 a.m. Push, when the alarm feels like punishment. Discipline is the one that pushes you past your limits when everything in you says stop. People chase motivation like a drug. They scroll through videos looking for a hit of inspiration. Push, they wait for the perfect podcast, the perfect speech, the perfect moment to get started. But the ones who actually win, they don't wait for motivation to find them. They don't care if they're inspired. Push. They're too busy executing because greatness isn't built in moments of hype. It's built in moments of habit. It's built in the dark, in the silence, in the hours nobody sees. Discipline is the architect of your dream. That push. Motivation is just the spark, but discipline is the foundation, the structure, the steel. Discipline is choosing to do what's necessary, not what's easy. It's saying no to comfort, no to distractions, no to the urge to quit. Push. It's showing up to the gym when it's raining, when it's snowing, when your body is sore and your mind is numb. It's grinding through your work when there's no deadline, no bonus, no applause. Push. Discipline is the muscle you build when nobody's watching. It's the voice in your head that says keep going when the feelings fade. Because feelings lie. Feelings fluctuate. But discipline. Push. Discipline don't care if it's Monday or Sunday. Discipline don't ask how you feel. It only asks what needs to get done. You don't need more motivation. You need more commitment. Push. You need to stop waiting for the mood and start moving because you made a decision. Discipline doesn't need excitement. It needs intention. You said you wanted to be great. Then why are you only working when it feels good? Structures that push. Champions train when they're broken. Leaders show up when they're drained. Warriors fight when they're wounded. You can't keep living your life based on whether or not you feel like it. Discipline means you do it regardless. Push. It's brushing your teeth every day, not because you're passionate about toothpaste, but because it's who you are. It's a standard, not a suggestion. Motivation is external. It's emotional. It's temporary. But discipline is internal. It's a decision. It's consistent. And that consistency compounds. Day after day, action after action, choice after choice, discipline stacks up. And while motivation fades, discipline builds momentum. Push. And once you got momentum, you become unstoppable. You stop starting over. You stop breaking promises to yourself. You stop making excuses. Because now, it's not about hype. It's about identity. Push. It's not about a moment. It's about a lifestyle. Discipline is you keeping your word to yourself when no one else is around to see it. People think talent separates the successful from the stuck. Push. But it's not talent, it's discipline. The best aren't the ones with the most potential. They're the ones who refused to stop. They're the ones who showed up every single day, even when their mind was against them. Push. They outlasted the hype. They outlasted the fatigue. They outlasted the doubt. Because when the feelings wore off, the habits kicked in. They didn't need to be in the mood to move. They moved because that's who they became. Push. Discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about being relentless. It's about locking in when others check out. It's about doing what you said you were going to do long after the mood you said it in has left your body. Push. It's about being loyal to your vision, not your comfort. Stop expecting people to cheer for you when they don't even understand the game you're playing. Push. Stop waiting on validation from people who never had the courage to chase a dream themselves. The hard truth is, not everyone will support you. Push. Some of the people you thought would be in your corner will be the same ones questioning your vision, downplaying your progress, and hoping you don't rise too high. And if you let that stop you, push. You were never serious about the goal in the first place. You're not chasing approval. You're chasing purpose. And purpose don't need permission. You've got to get to a point where you're comfortable walking alone. Because the path to greatness is narrow. And it's not crowded. It's lonely. It's quiet. Most people don't have the discipline or the drive to walk it. Push. And they're uncomfortable watching you do what they're afraid to attempt. So instead of encouraging you, they'll criticize you. Instead of lifting you up, they'll pull you back. Push. And it's not because you're doing something wrong. It's because your hustle is exposing their comfort. Your growth is shining a light on their stagnation. Your hunger is reminding them of the fire they let die. Push. Sometimes your biggest doubters will be the people closest to you. Family, friends, people you grew up with. They might not believe in the vision because they're stuck in the past. They remember who you were. Push, not who you're becoming. And that's okay. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them stay confused, but don't let their lack of belief become your ceiling. You weren't built to fit inside their small thinking. That push. You weren't created to stay in the box they built for you. You've got a calling on your life that they can't comprehend. You've got a fire in your belly that doesn't need a crowd to keep it burning. Do it anyway. Push, show up anyway, grind anyway, even if they don't clap, even if they don't text back, even if they laugh at your dream, question your moves, or ghost you when it gets hard. Your responsibility is not to convince them. Push. Your responsibility is to execute, to wake up, lock in, and move forward with faith in what you were called to do. The real ones will recognize it eventually, and the fake ones, they'll fade away like background noise. Structures that push, because when the work speaks loud enough, you don't have to explain a thing. Success is not a group project. Your dream isn't up for debate. It's a war you've got to fight inside of you with discipline, with passion, push, and with tunnel vision. That means staying focused when others are distracted, staying consistent when others quit, staying true when others fold. You don't need a fan club. You need grit. You don't need hype. You need heart. Structures that push. If you've got that, you've already got enough. You've got to stop attaching your effort to their encouragement. You've got to stop waiting on green lights from people who can't see your destination. Structures that push. Some of the people who didn't support you in the beginning will come around when it's convenient, when the money shows up, when the recognition hits, when the lights turn on. But don't let that be the fuel for your engine. Push. Let the silence fuel you. Let the rejection fuel you. Let every you can't become another reason why you will. Because the most dangerous kind of person is the one who kept building when no one believed. Push. The one who trained in the dark, worked in the shadows, sacrificed in silence. That's the person no one can stop. That's the person who's too locked in to hear the doubt, too committed to feel the shade. Push. When you operate from that place, when your reason is bigger than their rejection, you don't need support to keep going. You've got something deeper, something untouchable, something unbreakable. Push. That's when the world starts paying attention, not because you asked it to, but because you gave it no choice. There's a price for everything in this life. Whether you like it or not, you're going to pay. Push. You either pay now with discipline or you pay later with regret. There's no avoiding the cost. If you don't sacrifice for your dream will be sacrificed. If you don't give up your excuses, push, your potential will be the thing that gets given up. If you don't sacrifice time, effort, comfort, and ego, then life will sacrifice your purpose, your legacy, and your peace. Push. You have to choose what dies, your distractions or your destiny. Everybody wants to be great, but nobody wants to bleed. Nobody wants to give up the things that are killing their greatness. They want results without effort. Push. They want the outcome without the grind. But the truth is, you don't get what you want. You get what you're willing to give something up for. You want to be successful, but you're not willing to sacrifice sleep. Push. You want to get in shape, but you won't sacrifice comfort food. You want deep relationships, but you won't sacrifice pride. You want financial freedom, but you won't sacrifice spending. You want the mountain. Push, but you won't give up the valley. And life doesn't reward that. The game is simple. You sacrifice or you suffer. You sacrifice comfort now, or you suffer consequences later. You sacrifice temporary pleasure. Push, or you suffer permanent pain, because if you don't sacrifice for your future will be sacrificed for your present. People don't fall short because they lack talent. Push, they fall short because they refuse to trade the now for the next. They want to live like kings today and then be shocked when they're peasants tomorrow. They want to chill, party, sleep, scroll, gossip, waste hours. Push, and then act surprised when their dream disappears into thin air. That's not sabotage from the outside. That's sabotage from the inside. The champions, the elite, that push, the uncommon, they made a decision that most people are too weak to make. They decided that nothing mattered more than the mission. They chose pain now over pain later. They gave up friends who were aligned. Push, nights out that slowed them down, habits that drained their energy, and mindsets that didn't belong in their future. That's sacrifice. It's not pretty. It's not glamorous. It doesn't look good on social media, but it's the reason they win. Because when you sacrifice what's holding you back, you start building what will push you forward. You've got to wake up and realize that your dream is under attack, not from enemies. Push, not from haters, but from your own comfort. Every time you choose to stay in bed instead of get up and work, you're sacrificing your progress. Every time you scroll for an hour instead of study, train, or build, push, you're sacrificing your future. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you're handing over a piece of your purpose to procrastination. And eventually, there won't be any of your dream left. It'll be gone. Push, not because someone took it from you, but because you gave it away one small sacrifice at a time in the wrong direction. The world won't slow down for your excuses. The clock doesn't care about your story. Push, it's ticking whether you use the time or waste it, and one day the bill will come due. That dream will either be realized or buried. That potential will either become power or pain. Push. It all depends on, one, what you're willing to give up today, because nothing worth having comes without a cost. And if you don't choose the pain of sacrifice now, you're going to live with the pain of loss later. Push. There's no shortcut, no hack, no cheat code, just choices. Every day is a decision. You either feed the fire or feed the fear. You either move toward purpose or drift into mediocrity. You either sacrifice or you get sacrificed. Structures that push. Comfort doesn't scream. It whispers. It tells you to relax just a little longer, convinces you that you've done enough for the day. It tells you you deserve a break before you've earned the breakthrough. Push is not loud like failure. It doesn't punch you in the face like pain. It's soft. It's quiet. And that's what makes it dangerous, because comfort kills you slowly. Push. It rocks you to sleep while your dreams rot in the background. You don't even realize it's happening until you look up and years have passed and you're in the exact same place with the same excuses, the same routines. Push and the same wasted potential. The reason most people never become great isn't because they're not smart enough, strong enough, or talented enough. It's because they get comfortable, they hit one goal, then they sit down. Push. They get one win, then they stop swinging. They reach a level where people clap and they think the work is over. But greatness isn't a destination. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset. Push. It's a war between what you could be and what you're settling for. And comfort is the enemy on the inside, disguising itself as peace when really it's a prison. Comfort is the slow decay of hunger. Push. It tells you there's no need to push, no need to stretch, no need to strive. It tells you growth is optional and pressure is avoidable. It lies to you because pressure is the only thing that produces strength. Growth is born in resistance, and progress lies just outside your comfort zone. But if you're always chasing ease, you'll never evolve. You'll repeat the same year over and over again and call it a life. Push. Comfort will have you working jobs you hate just because they're safe. It'll have you surrounded by people who don't challenge you because challenging conversations feel too uncomfortable. It'll have you living small. Push, thinking small, and settling small while convincing yourself you're doing okay. You weren't built to be okay. You weren't wired for mediocrity. There's something inside of you that wants to go to war. Push, that wants to break through the wall. That wants to be more. But every time that voice rises up, comfort tries to shut it down. Comfort tells you you'll fail. Comfort tells you push. They'll laugh at you. Comfort tells you wait until tomorrow. But the problem is tomorrow becomes next week, and next week becomes next year, and next year becomes never. Push. And then you're standing at the edge of your life, wondering what could have happened if you just been willing to get a little uncomfortable. Every version of you that you want to become is on the other side of discomfort. Push. Every next level requires something you haven't done yet, something that's going to stretch you, scare you, challenge you. But instead of leaning in, most people retreat. They play it safe. Push. They stay in environments that don't demand more of them because more feels like pressure. But pressure is a privilege. Growth doesn't come when things are easy. Push. Growth comes when your back is against the wall and you choose to fight anyway. The most dangerous place to live is in that zone where life is just good enough, not bad enough to force a change. Push, but not great enough to fulfill your calling. That lukewarm space where ambition goes to die. You wake up every day not miserable, but numb, not broken, but bored. You're not losing, but you're definitely not winning. Push, you're existing, not living. And comfort will keep you there forever if you let it. It'll let you coast and call it balance. It'll let you settle and call it peace. But deep down, push, you'll know the truth that something's missing. That fire, that purpose, that edge, it didn't disappear. It was buried under layers of comfort. And the only way to get it back is to get uncomfortable on purpose. Push, to run into the storm, to choose challenge over ease, to stop protecting your feelings and start protecting your future.